When does the amusement park open? And what is with the amusement park?
It's a theme park,
Or
first of
the
all, and
okay,
the
sorry.
theme is virgins.
I finally
Watched.
I finally
Watched.
I
finally
Watched.
I
finally
Watched.
I finally
Watched.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of I Finally Watched. My name is Alain.
And this is David, and today I finally watched Crybaby.
So, what'd you think?
Well, so I forgot, this is not my first John Waters movie. I've
Oh, what's your
seen
first John
Serial
Waters?
Mom
Oh.
when I was young, which I remember quite liking. This movie I was not excited for at all. It did sort of win me over. It's like a very obvious parody. It's very short, which I loved,
Yep, yep.
for
I
a
knew
movie
you'd
that I
like that
wasn't
about
excited
it,
to
for
watch.
sure.
But it had a lot of funny moments. And I mean, I think with any good parody, the what it is making a mockery of was fairly obvious. The way that poor people versus rich people, I mean, this is obviously a John Waters classic of people on the outskirts of society and how like they are shit on. Like the squares start a melee and they
Right.
get treated by the ambulance, whereas the victims are taken
Picked up
to
by the
jail.
cops. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like this is I wouldn't say this is like an outright parody. I would say it's more maybe an homage parody to Grease, Romeo and Juliet, like that kind of trope.
Right.
But I found it really enjoyable. I think there's a lot of like really cool things about this movie. Like for example, how everything that the squares sing is a cover, but everything that the drapes sing, I think, is an original.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 21 doing time. Wait, sorry. I was getting that mixed up. Guilty Till I'm 21. Believe that's an original to this movie.
I mean, my wife was listening in and she didn't think the music was that great. I thought it was pretty catchy, but it wasn't like something that, oh, I listened to it one time and I'm like, oh, now that's like stuck in my head.
Well, everything that the squares, like the quartet guys sing, that's all like old 50 songs anyways, like well known.
Right.
Even the girl sings like all cover songs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, I was reading some comments about how the it's a little light in the plot, but I mean,
Sure.
it is a very classic story and it's
There's like this
just
huge cut in the end. And it goes from them picking her up from the amusement park, which like what's that about? And then it cutting to her being outside the jailhouse singing "Let Him Go," and I was
right.
like, there was something there that I think they cut for time. And I watched the director's cut, so
Yeah, I think they're just like, we you know where this is going. Let's speed it along.
right.
Some of the stuff was like, the grandma's sort of change of heart. You realize though she'd probably dabbled with the bad boys too. I
Right.
like that was a nice, and I don't even want to say a twist. I guess I for some reason didn't see it coming. So it was a nice surprise.
But then she has this like hard on for the judge.
I think she's like the judge has a hard on for her and
I
is
think she
like,
slept with the judge to like get Crybaby shorter
yeah, it's a
sentencing.
Forrest Gump situation for sure.
Right. Right.
Your grandmama sure does love you.
It was his mom. It was his mom.
What do you mean?
In Forrest Gump,
I
it was his
know.
mom.
I know, but yeah, I was applying it to this movie, so I changed it up a little bit because that's not even his grandma that fucked the judge. That was his grandma-in-law potentially in the
Potentially,
future.
you're right. You're right. Let me ask you, what is the name of that actress that plays the mom in Forrest Gump?
It's Sally Field.
Sally Fields. You know, she was actually younger than Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump.
You didn't even know her name a second ago, so yeah, no. I didn't. I think that's probably a fact I've been told and forgot.
Okay, okay. Well, sorry for putting the whole podcast at a immediate halt. Now back to the movie.
So why did you want to do this one?
Well, I watched it a bit ago. I was really big. Like I went through a whole stint where all I watched was musicals. This was one of them. I liked it a lot. I remember liking it a whole lot more than like my opinion on watching it now. I think it is flawed in a lot of ways, but I still think it's like really enjoyable. And I bought the I bought the Kino physical media of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use that to its full potential.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But no, I still found it really enjoyable. I think everything in the jailhouse, like all the songs in the jailhouse and everything that happens there is like my favorite part of the movie. Like the gag where he's punching license plate and they all say Allison on them. I think that was funny.
That might cause some issues later on.
Yeah, just a bit. I like that song that follows it, the Guilty Till I'm 21.
Right.
And I also like the thing where he's like escaping through. It's so weird, right? John Waters is such a weird guy. He's escaping through the sewers and then he gets like seemingly led out by a rat. And then he's like he emerges right in the middle of the jailhouse where he's supposed to get his haircut. And then the rat like laughs like he's in on it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it almost felt like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, or like a Muppet movie all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. Like very. There's a couple. I mean, it's all like this, right? Because it is a parody. It's going for these gags, but there's a couple times, more than a couple, where they go really slapstick.
Yeah. I heard from a theater friend that there's a song in the musical that's not in the movie, but it's like a well-known song amongst theater kids because that's like a go-to song for tryouts. They don't call them for auditions.
Yeah.
It's sung by Lenora,
Okay.
and the song is like "Screw Loose," and she sings how like insane she is.
Yeah, but you don't. That's sort of like a subtle change at the end. Like, yeah, she's kind of a bad character and she's like ruining, but it's sort of like subtle, and then all of a sudden she's like holding a Cabbage Patch Kid and like, look at my baby.
Yeah, yeah. No, but so this is so which came first, the movie or the theater play?
The movie.
Yes. Which not that's not usually the case.
Yeah. I mean, was The Greatest Showman was that way, I guess. It's another example I can think of.
I guess, but I mean this movie came out in 1990 and the play came out in 2007.
Right.
Yeah, so 17 years. That's crazy.
Your math checks out. Yeah, so I want to start with the opening, as we normally do. What the movie does really well in like having the credits in the opening is it establishes all of the characters really well, even though you don't really know who's going to be what. But like it establishes who likes who,
Mhm.
who's a rival of who.
I love the opening.
It's really well done. Although it's funny, like I thought Ricky Lake plays his sister, and when the nurse touches her belly and she like grabs her hand, I was like, oh, she's not pregnant, she's just fat. But then though she is pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife,
I,
who had never seen Ricky Lake as a younger person, was like flabbergasted.
yeah. I mean, you kept calling her the extremely morbidly obese sister. You did,
I
but
have those people in my family, so I wouldn't talk about them that way.
sure, sure. But you at that point you didn't know she was pregnant in the movie, right?
Was this around the same time we were having a conversation about how you really liked the actress that plays Wanda? You liked her earlier works, I believe.
Is she like a Playboy girl or something?
Yes. Yeah. So Wanda was played by Tracy Lords, who her infamous rise to fame was that she filmed like 75 adult movies, and then an anonymous tip to the FBI was that all of those were filmed when she was below 18 years old, except
Oh,
for one.
Mm.
There's only one legal one, which I read on the internet. I don't know if this part's true, that she owns the rights to those. So she owns the rights to the only legal one you can have. And then they tried to prosecute a few people, but she had actually like gotten legitimate legal documents from the state of California. So it was like you were going to throw these guys in jail for like they did the best they could. Like how are they supposed to know? So
They're
there was
innocent.
one there was one video store guy who got prosecuted because he kept selling the videos after it became public. And he was like, "Yeah, I knew."
All jokes aside, I thought Allison was actually hotter than Lenora, and I totally forgot about Wanda because we when we were speaking on the phone about this, I did not watch the movie yet, and then as soon as Wanda pops on the screen, I text you. I was like, "Never mind, forget Allison, forget Lenora. Wanda's definitely the hottest person in the movie."
I'm a big Ramona fan though too.
Ramona.
She's his grandma, I think. Ricketts
Oh, oh
or aunt, maybe aunt because that Uncle Belvedere.
no, she's the grandma.
Well, Iggy Pop plays Belvedere, but doesn't he call him Uncle? And isn't he with Ramona?
You can figure that one out
Oh,
any
okay.
way
All
you
right.
want to.
That's good.
I mean,
That's
they
good.
also very prominently display the Confederate flag everywhere. So
Well, so I was reading up, I was trying to figure that out. There's this website, hammeronnail.com. They interviewed John Waters, and he's like, speaking of drapes, you have that detail, which I know is period accurate of the Confederate flag. What was the significance? And John Waters is like, which is a funny quote. I wonder how long ago this is, but well, it was not thought of as completely racist then, or at least I don't think it was. But I added the black gang in there as well as the conks that would have never happened. And the guy's like, right, you did that to make them less racist? And he's like, yeah, well, but I didn't ever say that the drapes were racist because back then, if you had a rebel flag, it didn't necessarily mean what it means today. I guess it probably did to African Americans, though.
yeah,
So,
I was thinking that too because it's shown very like large and prominent on the back of the stage that they sing on, and so
and
I
then
was
the first time you see a black person in this movie, they're being what held in like the big like truck by the police, and they all have rebel flag bandanas. And then the
at the
only other
first. I
black
thought the
people you
first Black American that you see in this movie was Dupree getting chewed out by the grandma.
oh yeah, I forgot about him. Is he end up in jail?
Yeah, he's with him
How did Dupree? I guess because he was hanging out.
because he was there
He
in
was
the
at the
skirmish.
turkey.
Yeah,
What is that Turkey Point?
Turkey Lake. No, that sounds wrong. That's a place around here in Florida.
Point.
Okay. You know, what's funny is that even though the drapes had the Confederate flag, and yes, John Waters put black people in that crowd, the squares had not a single black American in their group.
Well, the only thing they hated more than drapes. So
Well, I believe that. That's probably true. I do like how the squares are painted in that in that kind of light. Like they are the poshest of posh, like the most stuck ups of stuck ups. But then it's like so like when Crybaby drives his motorcycle over there, all the girls are like hanging out the window. Like
yeah,
not just Allison. Like for some reason Allison is like, "Oh, Allison, you're such a rebel." But like if there was like a whole bunch of crybabies out there, like all the girls would have gone out there.
I mean, it's Johnny Depp. Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna stop
You
yourself?
like when she was singing about well, whatever that song she was singing, and then all of a sudden all of the guys' faces turned into Johnny Depp's faces.
Yeah, yeah, it was good stuff. So we have the opening scene at the school. Then the grandma comes. They drive to their beauty pageant sing along thing or whatever. I love. She's like, we were attacked by delinquents today, but you have to remember the 4 B's: beauty, brains, breeding. And when I heard breeding, I completely shut off to whatever that fourth B was. But it made me laugh so much.
Yeah, it's he went all the way with that trope, huh?
It was good stuff. And then then we get to the swimming hole with Lenora. I give Bear second on the first date. And Johnny Depp's like, that's come on. Come on. I get fours. Four bases on the first date, minimum, all the time.
I thought you meant he got fours, like 4 out of 10s.
He
But
probably can pick those up too.
pick those up too,
There's
yeah.
a lot in his, in his posse. So
Um, when the scene of everything that happens at the like Turkey Lake thing,
yeah,
Turkey Point, did you notice the pacing for both the drapes and the squares were vastly different? Which I had to be on purpose, I imagine. But y- in the time, because it cut back and forth between the two scenes, right?
right.
In the time that they go to the lake, that happens with the creepy photographer guy, right?
Yeah,
They set up the dance, they go dancing, they have the meeting with Ramona. She gives him the motorcycle. All of this is happening. And then it cuts back to the same fucking pageant that the squares are holding. Like they went through 5 different scenes with like character development, and then you cut back to the squares and they're doing the same fucking thing for like hours on end.
yes.
I thought that was a good storytelling mechanism in where it was like, oh, their lives are boring as shit.
Whereas the Drapes basically live in like the set design from Song of the South.
Also, but they also live like a mile a minute.
Yeah,
Like their lives move so fast. And when she was like, "Oh, I wish I was having triplets," I was like, "What does that mean? Is she having twins like now?" But it's like, "Oh, those two 7-year-olds are hers also."
right. Also, this was a school day, so it's like a lot of shit is happening after school. Like, and this was all one day. This was all a 9-hour period. This entire thing. Well, I guess
Oh
no,
no,
maybe
no. Once he gets
he
to
was
the
in.
jail,
I guess he was in jail maybe overnight, just for one night.
well, okay, think about it. So everything that happens during the school where they get their what is that like a tetanus shot?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I first of all, Wanda's parents are probably my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Yes. Very good.
Like the fact that they just work every job at this school, and she's just like, okay, you can tell like she loves her parents, but she's like, can you fuck off, please?
My favorite joke is with the judge when like, can we take our fucking daughter home now? After bleeping out the first two,
Yeah,
is great.
it was good. It was good. And then they're like, actually, we're exchanging you for the Swedish student.
Yeah, because they're actually tired of your shit.
Right. And then the Swedish student is just like, yeah. I was just like, oh my God. But
Yeah.
no, anyway, so I digress. So everything that happens with her, everything that happens to Hatchet Face, everything that happens at the lake, everything that's, they give him the motorcycle. He goes immediately to pick up Allison, brings her back to the lake for the party. That's all the same night. The squares come, graffiti, and burn his bike. That's all the same night. That causes him to have the huge
Yeah,
fight.
you don't need to get it's 2 days. We get it.
But no, I
Probably
think
2 days.
I think he spends a, is he supposed to get his hair cut like right away?
I would imagine so, yeah.
Oh, so
Maybe it's
maybe you're
3 days.
right.
I don't know. We don't have to need to dissect it. It's a very short amount of time. That's the point.
When does the amusement park open? And what is with the amusement park?
It's a theme park,
Or
first of
the
all. And
okay,
the
sorry.
theme is virgins.
Who's open is her
It
square
basically
boyfriend
looked like there was
opening
a
that?
bouncy cat. Someone blew up a bouncy castle in the woods, and they're like, "It's a theme park." That's what it looked like.
Our first one, and where's this supposed to take place? Maryland?
Baltimore.
Okay.
So she goes. Grandma lets her go. First of all, first sign, very cool. When Johnny Depp comes to pick up Allison, they go back. Everyone's dancing. I cut to the little kids dancing, which is very funny. Later on, when everyone's French kissing and he's teaching her, and the kids are seeing it, and they're like, "That's kind of gross." So they just trade lollipops as their version of French kissing. I thought it was a funny gag. And then she gets her bad girl makeover, which is also just like she looks completely normal. Like, wasn't that, it's just like darker colors,
Well,
not white.
what's up with the dance where like the girl grabs the guy's ankles and they're like exorcist walking across the dance floor?
I don't know.
You didn't see
I
that?
mean, probably the style of the time.
That was
That might
crazy
have been in
shit.
your director's cut because I don't remember that in mine.
Oh, well, mine didn't cut immediately to the little kids dancing. There was like a whole dance number and then it panned to the little kids dancing.
Yeah, it showed a lot of people dancing. I don't remember the exorcist thing though.
Okay. Okay. I think it's time for us to talk about the elephant in the room.
Go on.
I think we need to talk about Hatchet Face.
That's pretty fucked up. I wouldn't talk about it that way.
What? No, I just meant
Alon, she's passed away. Also, just you're just being very rude right now. It's not really not a great look for you.
you know what though?
That's fine.
Fuck you, because I think in the movie it's also explained how like just one look at her scared a cow away. So I think you can leave me alone, okay?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of. I mean, was this? I don't know. Did you look up if this was nominated for best makeup? I don't.
It's
If it's
nominated for
possible.
worst makeup.
Yeah. So when he is with her in the field on the blanket, and he's like, "I'm an orphan too, and orphans have special needs." The needs being French kissing.
And sex.
And then cutting to like her talking about, yeah, my parents took separate planes because they were both worried about them crashing and they crashed anyway. And then he's like, electricity makes me insane because his dad was the alphabet bomber. My favorite line, my mom couldn't even spell and they fried her too.
My favorite line when he was like A B C.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah.
So cut to the fight, them getting arrested, and then the judge, which is very funny. We get to meet Hatchet Face's family. The mom is in an iron lung.
Yeah.
She's like smoking. Like, you can't smoke in here. Why do I pay all these taxes then?
Well, we we meet them before and they're selling cigarettes to students outside the school.
I didn't even notice that.
Maybe that was in my director's cut.
Possible, or maybe I just missed it.
Anyways, they were selling cigarettes outside of the school, and this kid goes up to them, and they're like, "Just give me one. I just one." And they're like, "You didn't pay us last week. We're not gonna sell it to you again." And he's like, "Just a drag. Just give me a drag." She's like, "Come back when you have some money."
That definitely wasn't in my version. I would have
Okay,
remembered that.
all right.
So the judge scene is hilarious. Also, pretty good acting from the grandma, letting you know, like, oh, she's not really on board with all this.
Yeah,
So I thought that was good. And then the way you have Lenora following him to the jail and saying like, "Oh, he's my fiance and I'm gonna have his baby." And then when it's on the radio, they cut that and then cut him saying like, "Oh, I love it," to make
yeah,
it seem like all one thing.
yeah.
I I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I also like the this is a movie that you really have to, kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? Like you really have to be in the mood for, or like you have to have the disposition to like a John Waters movie, I feel like.
Well, which one did you like more? Did you like this or Little Shop of Horror?
Hmm.
Because I compare them because the music is from like this a similar decade.
Maybe this. I don't know.
Really, you like this better than Little Shop?
So I think I like Little Shop in the moment, but it's not. I don't think back on it. I'm like, oh, Little Shop of Horrors, like you do.
Mm, yeah,
So I mean, neither of them. I'm like, will I maybe ever watch again? But if you were like, hey, there's going to be a stage production of one of these, I would be interested in that
Crybaby.
because that's like an event, or either of them, honestly, or a Rocky Horror. They do that all the time, though,
That's true.
but only if Hermione is playing the Susan Sarandon role, or Susan Sarandon,
Or Susan
Ob-
Well,
obviously.
yeah.
Speaking of which, rest in peace, David Duvall. Loved your work in The Rock. Fuck
You're
you.
gonna really fry me about the whole David Duvall me getting it mixed up with Ed Harris.
It's just one tweet in the entirety of the internet, and somehow you found it, and just fucking no critical thinking was done.
You know what's really fucked up is that there was the caption on that tweet, and the caption said, "To the man, rest in peace to the man who won the most Academy Awards." I was like, that has to be wrong,
Yeah. Willem Dafoe appearance in this movie.
right? Crazy.
God bless Ike. God bless your your probation officer. God bless Richard Nixon.
I mean, he looked probably the farthest away from like Willem Dafoe ever looked from Willem Dafoe.
He would also just do stuff like this. So like John Waters was a little bit of a known quantity at this point. A lot of his like 60s and 70s stuff people knew of, more underground, whatever. I think this is considered his first mainstream movie. But at this time, this is the same decade that Defoe does Boondock Saints, right? So he
Yeah.
was willing to sort of take a little bit of risk here and there, you know?
This was before Boondock Saints.
I know. I said
Was this before
Speed 2.
Speed 2? No, no, no. The Robert Redford movie we did. Spy Game.
Yeah, Spy Game was in the 2000s.
Oh.
Was Willem Dafoe in Spy Game?
Was he not?
What movie were you thinking of?
I was thinking of Clear and Present Danger.
I think this might have been before that.
Oh well, I just had the IMDb in front of me, but Clear and Present Danger was in '94.
So yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny. So one of my friends at work is like he told his wife like how kind of crazy I am at being able to know what movie he's talking about. And he was like, "Yeah, I started watching a Tom Cruise movie where he's a boxer." And I was like, I was like, Tom Cruise has been a boxer in a movie. He's like, yeah, he was a boxer. He was in Ireland. The lady had to be brought over. He's like, it was like 96. I was like, 96. I was like, I don't know, is that far and away? And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I was just like, I know every Tom Cruise movie. I don't know that one. So it was like, just, that had to be my guess.
So he was correct. You just haven't seen it.
Well, he was watching it, but he was correct in that. I mean, he believed in me that I would get it right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So Tom Cruise was a boxer in the movie, huh?
Yeah, which is, I mean, definitely a featherweight, potentially lower. So, yeah, after this, Crybaby sings the song with all the inmates backing up. Pretty good song. As Allison is, the only way I can describe this, guzzling her own tears in bed and doing it in a very sexualized way.
I didn't like it.
I
And
wasn't a fan.
usually, I like that kind of stuff.
Good to know.
I like
And
his
then
teardrop tattoo.
it was good. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he actually killed anyone to earn that thing. So that's unfortunate.
No,
That's
but he
stolen
doesn't
valor.
cry
you know.
anymore.
Yeah, people in prison don't like stolen valor, so you can't do that. Baldwin, the square, I don't know, boyfriend to be, boyfriend in waiting, hops the whole way to her house with like a 200 person, like,
Band
yeah, no, I was gonna use the like, what comes off a woman's wedding dress?
veil.
Nah, it's like the train. He had a train following him of like just guys just hopping with him all the way to her. And he's like, "We're going to a theme park, baby." Does that do it for you?
The thing that was confusing about that is the song that they were singing, almost seemingly calling her a tramp.
I mean, kind of was,
It's
in
like
those
you're a
days.
tramp, but I'm willing to forgive you.
And what's the movie does a kind of a slow play too of like, I don't know, in these movies that character's obviously an asshole, and then you see them singing at the theme park, and he like keeps pushing her out of the way. He wants to be the star.
Yeah.
And it's like the drapes like treat their women as equals, like they can fight, they can fuck, whereas the squares are like, you women, you stay in the background and like we'll pop some babies into you, which you know his sister also does. She's not against the babies.
But she can fight.
She sure shit can. Yes, she can.
I like how all the drapes are disguised as like the characters at the theme park, at the amusement park.
Right. Well, before that too is a really cool scene. There's a couple. One, we talked about the Inga scene where they're going to switch her with Wanda. Then Hatchet and Milton take a helicopter to the jail, break into the jail, can't find him. There's this funny thing where they're like, "Oh, he's in the movie screen. He's in this and he's that." Cuts into the movie. Part is very funny where they break through the screen and all the guys with 3D glasses are freaking the fuck out. And then they jump in a trash truck to just escape themselves. They don't even get him out.
Right. And then there's just a helicopter sitting there.
Yeah. But then the orphanage scene is very funny where
Yeah.
she's displaying them like puppies,
Well,
almost like museum set pieces.
well, like a pound, right? There's that really common trope that when a movie character goes into a pound, they see all the sad dogs and then they release all of them, right? So you have this shot outside the pound where all the dogs are running out the front door.
Right.
But you have this, but they release all of the orphan children.
But you can imagine that all those orphan children were just stolen from poor people.
Well, yeah, I think like not only that, but she kind of like the orphanage person got what she deserved by being put in the cage that she put the kids in the cage, right?
Yeah. There's some symbolism there for sure.
But I also
Some
liked how she was like, nah, they're Siamese twins. The maintenance and the upkeep is horrible. You don't want these.
You couldn't handle that. It's a lot of work. So after this, we already talked about the theme park, which is very funny. The judge is just watching this happen, and he's like, sees the grandma. He's like, "I'm gonna fuck that lady," and then he sees her get the little skull with a spider, like little doodad on her chest, and he's like,
Sure.
"What's going on here with that bad lady? Oh, she probably does. She probably does freaky stuff on the first date. Just lets it happen." Cut to the jail. Please, Mr. Jailer, let the man I love go free, which is probably a few days later, so maybe he's in there for a week.
I think that's a pretty fire song.
It's good. Almost gets his haircut. Like pretty fucking close to getting that haircut. That wouldn't have been great.
It reminds me of another movie where they're like sent to the army and they all get their heads shaven.
I forget what movie it was. There's a movie that I watched when I was a kid all the time where these two guys get their hair cut and they get it buzzed. And then the next guy just gets like a normal haircut and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "This isn't the Marines. We should just get a normal haircut." I can't remember
That
what fucking
I
movie
feel
that
I
is.
feel like I've seen that movie too. Yeah, I don't know. Oh man.
It'll kill me. So then the judge sets him for the parody of this all. The judge sets him free. First of all, the judge convicted him without a trial and sentenced him to juvenile. You know what I mean? Like just convicted him in a normal hearing, right? And then undoes that conviction, frees him, and the newspaper comes out like that very minute and like spins onto the thing. Just like making a whole kind of mockery of the genre. And then he's like giving a speech to everyone, and then Baldwin's like, "Yeah, well, my dad was the one that killed you, or killed your dad. My grandpa was the
My
one that killed your
grandpa is the
dad,
one that pulled the switch of the electric chair that killed your
and
dad.
we
And
laugh
we used
about
to
it every
laugh to
Christmas."
yeah.
I did skip over, by the way, when they go into the jail, all the women go and dance up against the glass. If you watch the grandma, it is hilarious
Oh.
because she is not able to do it the way the other girls can. It is pretty funny. And then I thought it would be funny as Johnny Depp breaks the glass. The judge comes in. It's like I was about to free you. What about
But now you're back in jail for
yeah,
property damage.
yeah? You got to pay this off. And then Johnny Depp's like, "We're gonna play chicken," and the judge asks, "Is that legal?"
Oh man. It's like I'm going to change the rules. I'm going to do it so we're on top of the cars, which honestly is a much more badass. I thought they were going to cut to like them standing surfing on the cars.
Yeah,
They were just kind of like straddling the cars,
holding on for dear fucking life. And then it ends. Everyone has tears, and Allison flies into his arms, and he catches her.
which is the perfect way to end the movie, honestly.
No, because it's like this movie's already been ridiculous. I'm gonna end on the most ridiculous thing possible.
Oh, Ricky Lake pops out a baby
She does, yeah, in the car.
and then presumably gets proposed to by her boyfriend.
He She says yes too. Also, there's a fun fact on IMDb that it named the actress that was that baby, and then was like, to date has not had another role in a movie. I was like, thanks for that. That's great.
A baby was one-time star. Yeah.
Uh,
Fun facts.
Fun facts: Drew Barrymore was considered for the Allison role. Makes sense.
I like the actress they picked.
No, she's good. I've never seen her in anything else that I can remember though.
She's very like doe-eyed. I don't think Drew Barrymore could have pulled off.
Is that a fucking joke?
What?
You don't think Drew Barrymore, younger, could have pulled off doe-eyed? This
Mm,
was 6 years before Scream, though, so I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, Drew Barrymore could have done it.
When I think of
So,
Drew Barrymore quintessential roles, I think of her in Charlie's Angels.
so, uh, Amy Amy Locane, sorry. Which, by the way, IMDb photo, she's a fox to this day. She was in the movie School Ties, which we have talked about doing. So maybe we will see another one of her movies. And then Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., and Jim Carrey were considered for the role of Crybaby before Johnny Depp was chosen.
Johnny Depp is such a good choice. I could not imagine, like, okay, maybe Tom Cruise, but definitely not Jim Carrey.
Except this movie is very comedic. So I actually think Tom Cruise struggles with this kind of comedy, I would think. I mean, we've never
But
seen it, right? Even though you have like the Tropic Thunder cameo, this specific type of overly serious but deeply funny is something I think Jim Carrey can do well.
yes, and maybe a young Jim Carrey could pull it off, but Crybaby is not the funniest part of this movie. He actually doesn't really have that much like comedic timing to his character.
He's playing super over the top. He's playing serious but very over the top, purposely being funny to me.
Okay, I can.
Also, RDJ can obviously pull that off.
Well, yeah, I mean
RDJ
Robert Downey Jr. is like, I'm almost kind of mad that Robert Downey Jr. wasn't the one chosen.
So to find a young actor for the role of Crybaby, John Waters bought $30 worth of teen magazines, all of which showed Johnny Depp on the cover. And Depp thought the script was funny and wanted something different after 21 Jump Street to sort of change things up.
Where he played another high schooler.
Yeah, well, a little bit different. So this is a movie I would have never watched. And I'm not going to say I'm glad you made me watch it, but I did enjoy it. And now I can say I've watched 2 John Waters movies, and I hope that number stays at 2.
Sounds good.
Unless you want to do Pink Flamingo.
Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for listening to another episode of I Finally Watched. I'm Alain.
And this is David, and I finally watched Crybaby.